When I was a kid growing up in Independence, Missouri, we had this wonderful old single-screen movie house called Inglewood Theater. I remember when you walked into the theater, you always came in the back, and you just looked down through this valley of seats. And in the front of the room that stretched from wall to wall, ceiling to floor, was this gigantic red velvet curtain. Along the bottom had the gold Philly fringe. Whenever the show was about to start, they would bring the house lights down, and you would see this curtain slowly move back and open up. And if we were lucky, we got to see a Woody Woodpecker cartoon. And if we were really, really lucky, then we got to see a Porky Pig cartoon. Now, my favorite movies were all the Disney movies. I always loved how those movies would start out with the paintbrush going across the screen, and you'd see the watercolor going down, and it would turn that picture just into all these vibrant, vivid colors. Well, my favorite movies were Winnie the Pooh. Piglet, Tigger, Eeyore were all great, wonderful pals. They loved to go play together. They loved to go on adventures together. And they loved to learn to do things for each other. They also cared very deeply for each other. Now, as I got older and had my own kids and started rewatching those movies, it was really interesting to me how each character had its own distinct personality traits. Rabbit. Rabbit was kind of that cranky old man that lived down the street that never wanted you to touch any of his stuff. Always told you no, 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 don't do this, don't do that, don't touch this. Then you had the wise owl, who was very much like a school teacher or that older relative that you saw on Thanksgiving, that you always just wanted to sit there and absorb everything they had to say, and you wish you could remember every piece of advice they had. Kangaroo was everybody's mom. Then you had Roo and Piglet, which were kind of like your siblings, cousins, those other kids you hung out with and got in trouble with. Now, when you think of Tigger, what comes to mind? What is he like? Tigger is a super bouncy, highly energetic, just can't stop him, moving everywhere, just going everywhere. He's this huge ball of energy. And if you ask Tigger, Tiggers are the greatest at everything they do. Tiggers are the greatest bouncers, they're the greatest jumpers. But if you notice, he always says, "we Tiggers." He never says, "I'm the greatest." It's always "we Tiggers," even though he's the only Tigger that we ever get to see. Now, Eeyore, on the other hand. Eeyore is this gray, somber donkey. We always see him with his head down, his shoulders hunched over. He kind of always has his back to us. The poor fellow has things so bad that they have to pin his tail on with a button. The Tigger, or Eeyore, always expects the worst of everything. If you ask him, it's going to rain today. He didn't get a good night's sleep last night because his bed was uncomfortable. The coffee was too hot this morning. The food was too cold. The rolls had nuts in it instead of raisins. Or they had raisins in it instead of nuts. He is just gloom and doom all over the place. Tigger, on the other hand, is all about fun and adventure. He always finds the rainbow beyond the cloud. Tigger believes that life is a gift and that you have to treat every moment as a very precious gift. And when you look at those moments, we can all find the wrong in every moment, and we can find the right in every moment. And I guarantee you, no matter which one of those you pick, you're going to be correct. Now, it's your choice. I'm a big believer in life is all about choices. We choose what we're going to do. You can choose when you go through life to be a Tigger, or you can choose to go through and be an Eeyore. I don't believe we're born with those particular patterns. We get to choose and set out to be how we're going to be. Now, when you go through your daily activities and you leave here and go to work, how are you going to be? Are you going to leave here as an Eeyore, thinking, man, work is going to be really hard today, I'm not going to have very many friends, the weekend coming up, I've got nothing to do? Or are you going to be a Tigger, that you're going to turn every task into a game? Every day is going to be an adventure. Every challenge is going to be that next opportunity. Thank you.